Good morning, students. Today we are going to do chapter 4 Scrooge and the Ghost. The following extract of Scrooge and the Ghost has been taken from Charles Dickens' novel A Christmas Carol. A Christmas Carol is about Ebenezer Scrooge, who is an aging and selfish businessman. He is a miserly, mean old man who hated everything and everyone except his old friend and business partner Marley, who was just as greedy and mean as Scrooge. Scrooge is visited by the ghost of Marley, his former business partner. Marley's selfishness condemned him to misery in the afterlife, and he warns that Scrooge faces a similar fate. Scrooge is visited by the ghosts of Christmas past, Christmas present, and Christmas yet to come. They force Scrooge to examine his life, reminding him of those he once loved and opening his eyes to the suffering caused by his lack of sympathy. Scrooge emerges from his experience a transformed man committed to living with generosity and love. 7 years to the day after the death of his business partner Jacob Marley, Ebenezer Scrooge is still running their company from the same building. A greedy and heartless man, Scrooge is counting his money in his office on Christmas Eve, reluctant to let his employee Bob Cratchit go home. When Scrooge's nephew, Fred, arrives to invite him to Christmas dinner, Scrooge responds that he has no interest in Christmas or love and rejects the invitation. Later, he responds similarly to a pair of men collecting money for charity, suggesting that poor people deserve to find themselves in the workhouse. Scrooge's only concession to Christmas is to allow his clerk the day off for Christmas on half pay. After Cratchit leaves, Scrooge is confronted by an apparition, the face of Marley in the door knocker. Scrooge convinces himself that he is seeing things and he is sitting down to eat when all the bells in his house begin ringing, after which Marley's ghost bursts forth from the cellar draped in chains. This happens later that night when he is just about to go to bed. He hears the rattle of chains. It is his first supernatural guest, that is, his old friend Marley appears. Scrooge conducts himself in very collected fashion with the ghost, demanding to know who he is and then asking him to sit down. He declares the apparition to be humble, that is, until the ghost begins unwinding the bandage from around and his lower face appears. Scrooge demands mercy from the ghost and asks him what he wants. Marley just says that because he was a bad person in life, he is forced to spend his afterlife making up for it. He has come to Scrooge in order to offer him a chance to reform his life before it is too late. He tells Scrooge that three ghosts will come to visit him and that he must expect the first tomorrow. If Scrooge does not heed their advice, he too will be forced to wander the world in chains as Marley does. In exhausted, Scrooge goes to sleep. When Scrooge wakes, he is confused because it seems that he has slept for more than 24 hours. It is almost 1 o'clock the following morning, the time at which Marley told him to expect the first ghost. The ghost pulls apart the curtains on Scrooge's bed, reveals itself to be something between an old man and a child. It tells Scrooge that it is the ghost of Christmas past. The spirit emits a light which is painful to Scrooge. It says that Scrooge has tried to bonnet this light all his life. The ghost takes Scrooge's hand and leads him through the wall. The two alight on a country road that Scrooge recognizes from his childhood. The ghost leads Scrooge to a small school in which the young Scrooge is reading alone. The sight makes Scrooge weep. His young self is reading fantastic stories such as Robinson Crusoe and the tale of Ali Baba. Clearly, he is filled with imagination. Next, Scrooge's sister, Fan, appears to tell Scrooge he may return home from school for good. Fan is now dead. Fred, who came to invite Scrooge for Christmas dinner, is the son of Fan. Next, the ghost brings Scrooge to see himself as a young adult celebrating at Christmas with Mr. and Mrs. Fezziwig. Scrooge realizes that they are treating the neighborhood children with a charity and goodwill Scrooge himself has never shown. After this, Scrooge is shown with those people who protest that Scrooge is fonder of money than he is of the people he then breaks. Even the bond with these people. Later that evening, the office has been transformed and is overflowing with the guests who are enjoying. And he is told to enjoy with the others. He also says that it doesn't make any difference to him. However, he is now so frustrated that he even says that he does not want to see any more of the spirits that are visiting him. Thus, old Scrooge begged to be shown no more, but there were two more ghosts yet to come, one of the Christmas present and the other of the Christmas yet to come. Who knows what they might show him? Or was it just a horrible nightmare? No, it is definitely a fact that Ebenezer Scrooge is experiencing, and the Christmas Carol definitely reveals at the end that Scrooge emerges from all this experience of the visit of the three ghosts of the Christmas past, the Christmas present, and the Christmas yet to come. He happens to be a transformed man committed to living with generosity and love. Dear students, you must read A Christmas Carol and see what happens when the Christmas of the present and the Christmas of the future ghosts appear and transform Ebenezer Scrooge. There is a worksheet given to you at the end of this video. You just have to read the questions, refer to the chapter, and answer these questions. Children, continue to do your work on regular basis neatly in your fair notebooks. Thank you.